I do want to talk about Haley, but more importantly, I do want to talk about what's driving Haley, and I believe that's in your right hand at the moment. Talk to us about this chip that you have right now that seems to be powering or might be the key to unlocking the potential for robotics AI in the future, sir.
Yeah, NPU is the dedicated hardware for AI purpose. So it's a little bit like a technology migration from CPU to GPU in NPU. So we all know, in image processing or video processing, there's a technology migration from VCD to DVD to MP3, right? So MP3 is quite tiny, but one MP3 can replace a bunch of DVD. The same thing for NPU. For AI purpose, one NPU can replace a bunch of the GPU, and the cost and power consumption is quite small. It's like 500 times lower than power consumption point of view, lower than GPU, and performance is much efficient.
Right. What strikes me right now is that when you look at a GPU versus an NPU, which is in your hand at the moment, it's the size of these chips. Why is there a size difference between them? Is there something with the architecture a difference in the architecture that makes it so?
Yeah, you can see the size is just this tiny. So it's a little bit smaller than a coin. So the reason it's so small is because it's totally different architecture. It's just like a DVD design and the MP3 design are totally different. So one MP3, one can replace a bunch of DVD, and one NPU can replace a bunch of the CPU and GPU in AI purpose.
I have a question though, Albert. Going back to Haley, we do know that Haley has a bunch of brothers and sisters that you said are in different applications or industries at the moment. Where are these robots driven by NPU perhaps potentially going to? In which industries are they seeing them in right now?
Yeah, you know that Kneron is the very first company really commercialized NPU. We started to do NPU back to 2015, much earlier than anyone else. So right now we already have a bunch of customers, I think more than 200, from AIoT home appliance, like Panasonic is our customer, and wearable device. And wearable, device area is key, right? So that's something GPU cannot get in, like Garmin is our customer. And we also have surveillance, like Hanwha. Hanwha is the largest surveillance company, non-China provider. And we even can cascade a chip to build a data center and search engine, like Naver. The largest search engine in Korea is also our customer as well.
Right. Now, you've mentioned a while ago that Haley is still in the learning phase at the moment and testing phase right now for these NPUs. How soon do you think are we going to see a fully functional and perhaps artificially intelligent or sentient robot that's able to answer us and perhaps interact with us on a fairly sentient level, sir?
I think within 1 to 2 years, that will be. I think our life will be very similar like a science fiction's life. So you can think in this way because NPU, the calculate the AI is so efficiently, so pretty much you can put the data center AI like GPT level intelligence enabled in any device in the Haley. So then your home, there's a human-like robot. And because it's almost like limit in the local, so you won't leak your privacy outside of your home. So they understand you, and latency point of view because it's processing locally, so it's much faster as well.
Right. We talked about, right now the talk, when you talk about artificial intelligence, revolves around GPUs, and for a good reason as well. And we're seeing NPUs perhaps being the next step. What do you think are the big challenges or key milestones that NPU needs to overcome to become more widely adopted as, say, GPUs are right now?
I think we need to educate the people. I think right now, definitely, if you are trying to using the GPU, I think the reason GPU is so popular is because the software ecosystem. We know CUDA, right? So you can see people are familiar with CUDA ecosystem to develop their own AI. So the developers are stick in the CUDA system. So NPU is like a new animal. So they need to attract more developers. But I think fundamental things is if you everything powered by GPU, the AI trend is like non-sustainable and a little bit ridiculous. Right now, the Chat-GPT powered by GPU, you need to build a nuclear power plant, and many of the big giants thinking to build a nuclear power plant, and even generate huge carbon dioxide, and the power electricity fee is up to $5 billion a year. That's ridiculous. So definitely trying to adopt the next generation hardware like NPU will be the trend.